On News Talk 1480 WHBC.
11 minutes after 9 on News Talk 1480 WHBC, Camden's Morning News with Pam and Gary. And I just finished my toaster pastry filled with lots of sugar, so I'm ready to go.
Let's go back, because if you listen to Canton's Morning News, you know that Gary at 5:30 a.m. usually starts each morning off with a Snickers bar.
Well, it's loaded with healthy peanuts.
Okay. Well, there may be a chance that the Snickers bar is better than some power bars I don't know.
I'm thinking.
I don't know. But we're going to bring in medical expert and the author of Sugar Rehab, Dr. Gerald Edelman. Good morning, Dr. Edelman. How are you?
Good morning, Pam and Gary. Nice to be with you.
Thank you.
All right. So is Gary eating a Snickers bar better than eating a protein bar?
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question, your listeners. I want your listeners to answer this to themselves. What is the one ingredient out of all those millions of ingredients on packaged foods that's been proven to cause disease?
Sugar.
Guess that would be sugar.
Ding, 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 ding.
Huh.
Isn't that amazing? Out of all of those so-called chemicals, the only one that's directly linked to disease is sugar, by obesity indirectly and directly by raising your insulin.
Now, when you say sugar, is it processed sugar? Is it all sugars, brown sugar, the raw sugar we can get?
Yeah, so the way I'm training people to think, and the way I think is simple. So I lump all sugar into one batch, like a computer. I think good and I think bad.
Okay.
So brown sugar, bad. Agave syrup, bad. Honey, bad. Fruit pine sugar, bad. And, I'm a big believer that 80% of disease is linked to obesity in the United States. So you know what? I'm an advocate of sugar replacements. You notice I said sugar replacements instead of artificial sweeteners?
Right, I noticed that.
I don't like the bias. I'm trying to also heighten my awareness to the bias, the urban myths. There's no data that says that artificial sweeteners cause disease. They may cause symptoms in some people, like aspartame may cause headaches.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Instead of, if you're one of those people who gets headaches from aspartame, try a different one. But they do not cause a rise in your insulin, contrary to urban myths. People talk about anticipatory release of insulin because you're going to have something sweet. That's just a little bunk. The studies actually show it doesn't. For your Snickers bar in the morning, you know what?
Bad.
Snickers bars taste good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're doing your body a lot of damage, even if you're not overweight,
Yeah, and I guess it's probably best to make sure you are label reading, correct?
So, Sugar Rehab is the book I wrote, and sugarrehabbook.com is my website. So I encourage your listeners to go there. The only ingredient that I want people focusing on is sugars per serving. Because as we said in the beginning, it's the only thing that's actually been linked to disease out of all the ingredients. Now, some of your listeners may have some dietary restriction because they already have disease. So that's a disclaimer. But for the average normal person who's fighting weight, the only thing that you want to look at is sugars per serving. And everything else falls into place. I don't believe in counting calories. I don't believe in counting how much you eat. If you don't get these rises, the peaks and valleys in your blood sugar during the day, you're not going to overeat. That's a simple, true statement. If you don't get peaks and valleys in your blood sugar during the day, you will not overeat.
And the peaks and valleys come from the sugar. Well, what's a replacement for sugar then? Because we all love our sweets. That's the problem.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things. You can have berries with whipped cream if you get a sweet tooth. Some of these sugar-free chocolates, you got to check, though, because, one brand that claims that, you can watch your weight, so to speak, in reverse order, they've got a lot of sugar. So it's not the calories that's the sugar, but the ones that replace sugar with sugar alcohols,
mm-hmm.
You have to prescribe those to yourself, meaning you have to dose it, separate it by 6 to 8 hours or so, because the sugar alcohols are actually laxatives and they can screw up your stomach. But those are some tricks, some nuts around, some beef jerky, some good protein sources, aged cheeses. You have to stock your house I have a master list in my book, right? You stock your house with the stuff on the okay list, and you stay away from the stuff on the not okay list. And when you stock your house that way, that's the end of thinking. You eat when you're hungry, and, you know, your body will regulate itself. It's that simple.
All right, I'm not going to sweeten anything with beef jerky, though, am I? I mean, I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, you don't want to. In fact, watch the sauces. Some of those teriyaki sauces have high sugar in them as well. So good point.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. We appreciate it.
You bet.
All right. You have a good day. Goodbye. All right.
All right, sugarrehabbook.com is where you can go and get